In our last episode, we worked with the Brotherhood to retrieve the Beryllium Agitator from mass fusion. The Beryllium Agitator was the last piece of the puzzle we needed to make Liberty Prime independent of the Prydwen's power. Now, it should be able to disconnect and walk on its own. After telling Proctor Ingram of our success at mass fusion, we at last find out if all that effort was worth it.
Well, this is it. The moment of truth. We've pre-programmed Liberty Prime's battle coordinates into his navigational processor. As soon as he's under his own power, he'll head straight for the Institute. Elder Maxon wants you to follow, and make sure he arrives at the CIT in one piece. I've checked every wire and every bolt on the big guy. All we need to do is plug in the agitator, start Prime's reactor, and cross our fingers.
If this works, how long before Liberty Prime will be ready for battle?
The reaction should be almost instant. He'll be running under his own power in a matter of seconds.
Did you fill up his tank and check the tire pressure too?
You're a real comedian. Anyone ever tell you that?
This is going to be a short war if Prime can't move.
You aren't kidding.
We don't need luck, Ingram. We've got you.
I didn't do it alone. Look, I discussed it with Elder Maxon, and we think you should be the one who has the honor of starting Liberty Prime. Just plug the Beryllium Agitator into his reactor port, then head back down here and press the transfer button. Good luck, Paladin. Ad Victoriam.
Oh wow, this is all happening really fast. We just got the Beryllium Agitator from mass fusion. Don't we have time for a nap or anything? Looks like we're gonna go straight to the Institute. So taking the scaffolding elevator all the way up to the top of Liberty Prime, we can insert the agitator into the reactor port. The hatch closes, and steam issues from the back of the giant robot. Back on the ground, we stand before the big red button. It's time to remove the training wheels off of Liberty Prime's power.
Fusion core reinitialized. Liberty Prime, full system analysis. All systems nominal. Weapons hot. Mission: the destruction of any and all Chinese communists. Probability of Chinese victory: impossible.
Brotherhood, salute! And Victorium!
Proceeding to target coordinates. Freedom is the sovereign right of every American. Democracy is non-negotiable.
And at once, Liberty Prime begins his long walk towards the Institute. Brotherhood soldiers on the ground assemble to escort Prime, and those were our orders as well. The metal giant towers over most of the buildings and structures by the airport.
Democracy will never be defeated.
The one thing the Brotherhood wasn't able to change was Liberty Prime's pre-war voice lines. And so even 200 years after the war between America and China ended, Liberty Prime still spouts anti-communist propaganda, extolling the virtues of American democracy.
Area classified as active war zone. Engaging sentry protocols.
Along the way, extremely foolish creatures and raiders get in the way of Liberty Prime, and the Institute relays in its synths.
Complete. Optic beam. Defeat is not an option. Initiating directive 7395. Destroy all communists. Defending life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Communism is a lie. Victory is assured.
But then, Liberty Prime arrives at a broken bridge.
Obstruction detected. Overland travel to target. Compromised. Probability of mission hindrance: 32%. Revised stratagem initiated. Aquatic transit protocol activated. Probability of mission hindrance: 0%. Democracy is truth. Communism is death. Anchorage will be liberated.
It opts to take a more direct route. But we're in power armor, and we can't move underwater as fast as Liberty Prime could. Also, we need to breathe. So while Prime wades across the Charles, we have to go around. We get our feet a bit wet before we resurface and follow Prime to the other side. This bridge connects to Cambridge, and we see that a Brotherhood vertibird has already landed to provide Prime with covering fire.
Freedom is the sovereign right of every American.
Just in time. As soon as Prime emerges from the water, more synths appear.
Communism is a temporary setback on the road to freedom. Cultural database accessed. Quoting New England poet Robert Frost. Freedom lies in being bold.
Soon we pass by Bunker Hill, and Liberty Prime recognizes it.
Memorial site recognized. Patriotism subroutines engaged. Honoring the fallen is the duty of every red-blooded American.
After that brief moment of patriotism, Prime finds his way back to the main road, and the Institute teleports in more synths.
Defending life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The last domino falls here. I hold these truths to be self-evident. That all Americans are created equal and are endowed with certain unalienable rights. Accessing dictionary database. Entry. Communism. A form of government in which the state controls everything and people are denied freedom.
Along the road, we see that a bunch of super mutants have managed to down a Brotherhood vertibird. We're too late to save the vertibird, but the super mutants will pay.
Initiating directive 739. Destroy all communists.
And not even a super mutant behemoth is a match for Liberty Prime. As we near the ruins of CIT, we have to pass through a raider den. And Prime has no compassion for raiders that would murder the residents of Boston. He treats them like the enemies they are.
Engaging Chinese invader. Democracy will never be defeated. America will never fall to communist invasion. American casualties unacceptable. Overkill protocols authorized.
At last we arrive at the ruins of CIT.
Objective reached.
And we find that Elder Maxon, Proctor Ingram, and a host of other Brotherhood personnel are already there, including some other brothers that we worked with to get to this point. Knight Lucia is here, as well as Knight Sergeant Gavel. And if we lied for Initiate Clark and allowed him to remain in the Brotherhood, he would have been here too.
Scanning defenses.
With the ruins clear, Liberty Prime begins to scan for weaknesses. And observant fans will notice that this is the exact same scanning technique that Prime used during the Broken Steel DLC of Fallout 3. But that brief moment was enough time for the Institute to zap in more synths.
Scanning results. Negative. Warning. Subterranean and Chinese compound detected. Obstruction depth 5 meters. Opposition. Sand. Gravel. And communism. Tactical assessment. Reach compound to restore democracy. Warning. All personnel should move to minimum safe distance.
With the synths dead, Prime takes a moment to calculate all of the variables, and he finds the weakest point that will soon become our entrance to the Institute.
Embrace democracy, or you will be eradicated. Obstruction eliminated. Ground units initiate Directive 7395. Destroy all communists.
There's no subtlety, no subterfuge. The Brotherhood takes the direct approach, and after blasting a hole through the earth, burrowing through the very ceiling of the Institute, we can leap inside.
Good work, Paladin. Now, head inside and let's finish this.
Sergeant?
Keep your guard up.
Well, Prime did his job. Now it's our turn.
Knight?
We stand together! Ad Victoriam!
And we arrive in the relay room, which of course we already knew was at the top of the Institute elevator. Inside, we don't find Gavel, Clark, or Lucia, but we've got Ingram and Elder Maxon, and Brandis is here.
Paladin Brandis, reporting for duty. Let's keep moving.
The mission is proceeding as planned, Paladin. Well done. Our next target is the reactor. If anything tries to slow us down, I'm ordering you to destroy it. Man or machine. Once we reach our target, you'll need this. It's a fusion pulse charge. Attach it to the reactor, and it can be detonated remotely from a safe distance. It will be more than enough to annihilate the Institute in its entirety. Ingram, you're to remain here and teleport us out when the job is done. Get that thing working.
We have our orders. We have to attach a fusion pulse charge to the Institute reactor. Heading down the stairs, we of course find the atrium elevator not operational, and so we have to take a nearby door to Old Robotics. And just like Desdemona was, Maxon is hardly impressed.
This is the Institute? I'm disappointed. I expected more from them.
That's of course because Old Robotics was a CIT lab, where the Commonwealth Institute of Technology first started dabbling in robotics before the War of 2077. It is from these humble beginnings that the Institute eventually evolved. This section of exploration is identical to what we did with the Railroad. Because remember, when the Railroad infiltrated the Institute, they did so by relaying in soldiers of the Railroad. So both the Brotherhood and the Railroad start from the same location. Following the path downstairs deeper into Old Robotics, we destroy turrets and synths that get in our way. We can optionally reactivate a dormant sentry bot to take out some synths for us. But if we do, we then have to destroy the sentry bot. At the end of Old Robotics, we find a hatch leading deeper in. After looting a fusion core and navigating through some broken walls, we find a door leading to Institute Bioscience. From here, we go down a staircase and arrive in the Institute proper.
Now this is what I feared. No controls, no supervision. Technology run amok.
Stepping inside Bioscience, the turrets immediately turn hostile. Now remember, we could have always accessed this nearby terminal to release the synthetic gorillas from their glass case. But remember, when we did that, when we came here with the Railroad, the gorillas weren't much of a help. But it doesn't really matter. If we get too close to the cage, the glass opens anyway, and the gorillas emerge.
Going weapons cold.
With the room clear, we can go down the hallway and open the door to the Institute concourse.
Combat initiated.
And here we have to fight a number of Institute coursers, synths, and even special legendary synths, wearing unique black synth armor that can't be found anywhere else in the game.
Paladin, we've located the reactor. It's accessible through the Advanced Systems Division. Only, you can't reach it. The security override can only come from the Director's terminal. You'll need to access his quarters.
Proctor Ingram realizes the same thing Tinker Tom does. Our only way forward is to access a terminal in the Director's quarters. And so taking the atrium elevator all the way down, we retrace a very familiar pathway to once again emerge in Father's quarters. The blast doors and windows are again all sealed shut, but this time Synth Sean is not in his little cage. And this time Father doesn't meet us. Instead, we find him sick in bed. This conversation is difficult, but I explored all of our dialogue opportunities with Father when we did this for the Railroad, and I didn't find anything new that he could say if we come here with the Brotherhood. I guess betrayal is just betrayal, no matter which faction we use to betray him with. Ultimately, our conversation with Father doesn't really matter. Our job is to access the terminal and override the lockdown. Our options here are the same as when we came here with the Railroad. We could optionally engage the evacuation protocol, which is going to save the lives of quote-unquote innocent scientists and civilians and children who live in the Institute. If we got the synth shutdown code from Father during our conversation with him, we could shut down a few synths, which is going to make our fight a little easier as we make our way to the reactor, and we can activate the Master Security Lockdown Override, which is what we came here to do.
Well done, Paladin. Looks like a path should be clear to the reactor. And I am happy to report that reinforcements have arrived.
Before moving out, we could optionally say goodbye to Sean one final time, and then make our way down. If we didn't shut down the synths, we find a bunch of them, with all of their guns trained on us as we reach the bottom of this staircase. And the reinforcements that Ingram talked about aren't here, so this section could be a bit tricky.
All hostile failure.
But once the synths are dead, we meet Maxon outside the door to Advanced Systems.
Elder,
In and out, Paladin. We make this fast and precise.
Heading inside, we take out a bunch of synths. And Codsworth murders scientists.
Now this is my cup of tea.
Codsworth, jeez. Opening the reactor door, we fight our way down a turret-lined hallway to reach the reactor level. And just like when we came here with the Railroad, we find two named unique legendary synths wearing black synth armor that we have to defeat. One on the ground and one on a gantry atop the reactor, both of which are wielding heavy weapons. With the room clear, we head up to the reactor level.
Let's get this done, Paladin.
Maxon wants us to make it quick. Accessing the terminal, we first shut down the reactor, which allows us to open the door without getting bathed in radiation. And here, we can place the pulse charge on the reactor housing.
Good work, Paladin. I think it's time to leave this place to its fate. Proctor Ingram, do you copy? Our mission is complete. I need you to transport us out of here immediately. Our work here is done. Proctor Ingram, it's time to teleport us out.
Sorry, Elder, I would, but, well, this child showed up. He claims to be the Paladin's son, sir.
Please, Dad, don't leave me here. I want to go with you.
And just like with the Railroad ending, we find Synth Sean in the relay room. Now, the choice was easy when we were working with the Railroad. The Railroad is all about saving synths, even if those synths are children. But the Brotherhood is all about destroying synths, even if those synths are children? The conversation we can have here with Sean is identical to the one we have with him if we side with the Railroad. What's interesting is the reaction from Proctor Ingram. If we refuse to talk to Sean and instead first talk to Ingram...
All right, Ingram. Fire it up.
Wait a second. You haven't even talked to the kid. You're not just gonna leave him here, are you?
she is incredulous. We're not seriously thinking about leaving him behind, are we? Once we go through with the conversation, and we insist that Sean stay behind if we talk to Ingram.
All right, Ingram. Fire it up.
Hang on. You're telling me you'd leave that kid here to die? He's your son.
Is there a problem, Proctor?
A problem? Hell yes, I have a problem. You're letting this kid get blown to bits. And he's your son. I think that qualifies.
We don't have time for this, Proctor. Get us out of here.
But... Whatever you say, Paladin.
It's none of your damn business, Ingram. Now get us out of here.
Fine. Whatever you say, sir.
With all three of those options, Proctor Ingram is furious. We just left a child to die, and that's not what the Brotherhood is all about. Only if we choose the last option, telling her exactly what he is.
He's a synth, Ingram. He's not really my son.
Are you kidding me? The Institute made synths that look like children? I don't even know what to say. Except that they deserve what's coming to them. You're clear to go then. Ready?
Does she agree to leave him behind willingly? When siding with the Railroad, there's no way to leave Synth Sean behind. Even if we don't want to be his father, Tinker Tom will save him and find him a place to live. But with the Brotherhood, we can leave Sean behind to die here. Alternatively, we could of course bring Sean with us. And interestingly, if we make that choice, we never find an option to tell Ingram or anyone else that Sean is a synth. So presumably, if we choose to keep Sean, we're hiding his true nature from the Brotherhood, which, after what we saw happen to Paladin Dance, is probably a good idea. When ready, we talk with Ingram.
All right, Ingram. Fire it up.
Everything looks green. System's warmed up and ready to go if you are.
No, not yet.
Yeah? Well, I hope you're not forgetting that one button press turns this place into a crater.
The relay works? It's not gonna vaporize me or something, is it?
Don't worry. I've got this thing all figured out. Are you ready to get out of here or not?
Not just yet. I need a minute.
All right. But don't take too long. Maxon's itching to turn this place into dust.
If we chose to keep Synth Sean, Ingram says,
Absolutely. Let's get out of here.
You got it, Paladin. I'm going to send you and Elder Maxon directly to the detonation site. I'll make sure the kid gets some new clothes and reaches the airport safely.
but if we chose to leave him behind,
I'm sending you to the detonation site. I'll set the relay to send the last of us to the Pridwin and make sure everyone is out. When that reactor goes up, this place will be nothing but a smoking crater full of rubble. Should be quite a sight. Looks like your work here is done, Paladin.
we step inside the relay.
Sir.
Time to go, Paladin.
Please, Dad, don't leave me here. I want to go with you.
Assigned evacuation. Cooperation.
Proctor Ingram has assured me that we'll be outside the blast radius. Press that button, and you not only defeat our enemy, you restore order and decency to the Commonwealth. It's time, Paladin. The Institute and their synth abominations must be eradicated.
And just like with the railroad ending, we find a big red button on top of some crates. Pushing it ends the Institute.
I can feel it wash over me.
The ending we get is identical to the railroad ending, because both endings resulted in the destruction of the Institute. The Institute is now a burning crater, and as the dust settles throughout Boston, we can turn to Elder Maxon.
Elder.
You've done an exemplary job here, Paladin. Without your unwavering loyalty to our cause, this victory would never have been possible.
So we've won?
Absolutely, brother.
What? No cash prize?
Your reward rests in the hearts and the minds of the people you've saved.
I didn't do this for the Brotherhood. I did this for myself.
Whether you were seeking vengeance or serving the Brotherhood, the end result is the same.
I did it for the people of the Commonwealth.
You truly have become one of us, brother. The Institute has been wiped clean from the face of our world. It's time we close this chapter on the Commonwealth and begin one anew.
I think we've done enough damage already.
This victory was but the beginning.
I think we've done enough for the Commonwealth.
On the contrary, this victory was but the beginning.
Then let's get to it.
I'm pleased that you're anxious to continue your service for the Brotherhood.
What do you mean, Elder?
It means we still have a long road ahead if we're to ensure the safety of the Commonwealth and her people. But this is neither the time nor the place to discuss it. Return to the Pridwin, and we'll decide what needs to be done.
With that, we complete the nuclear option. And it sounds like the Brotherhood isn't planning on going anywhere. Maxon has more to say, but he doesn't want to talk here. Back aboard the Pridwin, we find Elder Maxon and Captain Kells on the command deck.
Paladin, I'm pleased you've returned. Captain Kells and I wanted to speak with you. Captain Kells.
As I expect Elder Maxon has already explained, the destruction of the Institute is simply the first stage of our operations in the Commonwealth. There are still super mutants and ferals to be dealt with, as well as any remaining synths that escaped the blast. It's our hope that you will continue serving with the Brotherhood and assist us with eradicating these threats.
There are still synths left in the Commonwealth?
Unfortunately, yes. The Institute maintained exploratory patrols, scouting teams, and other autonomous units that are scattered throughout the wasteland. Now that their headquarters has been eliminated, they may be in hiding, or worse, conspiring to regroup for a counterattack.
Well, I'm not gonna quit now.
Indeed. I expected no less from you, Paladin.
I think I've had enough fighting.
The campaign has taken its toll on all of us, Paladin. I understand your hesitation. There's no need for your new duties to commence immediately. Take your time, and when you're ready, there will be plenty of missions to undertake.
Of course, Captain.
Very good, Paladin.
In light of your service, Captain Kells and I both feel you deserve unique recognition for your contributions, both past and future. It's with great pleasure and the utmost respect that you are hereby granted the title of Sentinel. This is the highest honor a Brotherhood soldier can achieve, but we both felt strongly that it was well deserved.
In addition, we'd like to present you with this jetpack modification for your power armor. The Brotherhood has few of these devices in its possession, but we feel you've earned the right to utilize one of them. Congratulations, Sentinel. It's an honor to be serving with you.
Would I be the only Sentinel in the Brotherhood?
In our division? Yes. There hasn't been a Sentinel serving under me for many years now. It's a position that commands a great deal of honor and respect, so I do not award it lightly.
I really don't know what to say.
As you've no doubt heard before, words aren't necessary. Your actions will speak volumes.
You better watch it, Maxon. I'm only one step away from Elder.
Indeed. I'll be certain to watch my back.
Thank you, both. I'm really quite honored.
The honor is ours. So, Sentinel, for the first time since we've met, I have no orders for you. From this moment forward, you will decide which missions you undertake and how you will guide us. Captain Kells and the personnel at the Cambridge police station still possess numerous operations for you to undertake. Where you go from here is up to you. Ad Victorium, Sentinel.
With that, we get a new jetpack power armor modification, and we become a Sentinel. And this is indeed an extremely rare commendation. There is only one known Sentinel in all of the Brotherhood's history, and that is Sarah Lyons, Elder Owen Lyons' daughter. She was a Sentinel during the events of Fallout 3 as the leader of Lion's Pride before her father died and she ultimately was appointed Elder in his place. That little warning that Nate gave to Maxon about gunning for his position as Elder was funny. It was probably just a joke. But after hearing this, I wonder who is Elder of the Brotherhood of Steel on the East Coast in the year 2296. With that, we complete the game for the Brotherhood of Steel, but by siding with them, quite a lot changes in the Commonwealth. We'll explore everything that changes with the Brotherhood in charge in the epilogue to the Brotherhood story, which I'll explore in my next episode. If you don't want to miss it, make sure you subscribe and click that bell notification button. If you like what I do, you can support me on Patreon, become a member of this channel, or purchase any of my merchandise. But more than anything, I'm just so glad you're here watching this video with me today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with the conclusion to the Brotherhood story in my next video.